What's up, guys? It's Gil Daddy,
And Gil Mama.
and we're taking you today on a little walk around our neighborhood. In Idaho, there was some confusion.
Not Ohio and not Iowa. We are in Idaho.
Or Wyoming. Yes, we live in Idaho, just to clear up any confusion there. But this is where we live. Let me show you here. Yes, I have selfie stick. Anyways, we're gonna go on a little walk today. There was a post on Facebook a little while ago, and Chad was saying, man, it'd be cool if the Gilmans would do some sort of video on, I guess, our journey, where we started, where we're at right now. And I said, man, that's a good idea. So we get a lot of comments of people asking us, you know, what is private labeling, or what are you guys doing now, or, you know, are you still doing eBay and things like that. So
well,
we
they
figured,
obviously don't watch our videos because we
Yeah.
answer all of those questions in the videos.
yeah, I can't answer them in every video, otherwise it would be kind of repetitive. But I figured I'd just kind of do a little brief history of where we started and what made us decide to go where we are right now. And I guess it all started when my dad was really horny. No, we won't go that far back. You know, I've always had this passion to like resell things, sell things to make money. I mean, if you really think about it, that's kind of how everybody who makes money out there is selling something, whether it be selling yourself or selling a product or selling a service. If you work for somebody, chances are they sell something. So I realized real early on that that's where the money's at, is to sell the stuff. Or you can work for somebody who sells the stuff. I think I was in about like 4th or 5th grade, and I got these little candy sour balls, and I purchased them in bulk by the pound, and I would go to school and I would sell them for a quarter a piece. And I would like come home from school and I'd have like pockets full of quarters, and I was actually making quite a bit of money, I mean, for a kid that young. And when I got to junior high, I did the same thing. I'd go purchase candy bars on sale for $4 and then sell them for 50 cents a piece. So I doubled my money.
Or lingerie cutouts of magazines.
Yeah, or cutouts of lingerie magazines for other kids' lockers. I did that for a while too. But you know, I just always liked to sell. So I ended up joining the military, and in the military I actually sold body jewelry on eBay. And I actually ordered a pallet one time of like goods, you know, store returns and things like that. And I sold some of it on eBay, but then I also went to a flea market, sold the rest of the flea market. And then I realized that I don't like doing pallets of goods because there was a lot of broken stuff, a lot of broken dishes, things like that. Things that didn't work.
Returned really used.
Right. So I mean, we decided to start buying wholesale and selling new stuff. So I did that for a while as well. I used to go to this website called AsSeenOnTVWholesale.com. I don't even know if it's still there. But at the time, eBay was still kind of young, and there wasn't a lot of people selling wholesale on there. So it was real easy for us to sell stuff on there. And I was still in the military at this time.
We made a lot of money on 60-second abs.
Yeah, 60-second abs. I used to buy those and sell them on eBay, and I would double or triple my money. I used to buy wholesale airsoft guns, and I made a lot of money on those.
Lockpick kits.
Lockpick kits, which were not legal to sell on
and
eBay.
the telescoping batons.
Telescopic.
Yeah.
Telescopic batons. But so there's a few of those items that eBay actually kicked off and said they were going to suspend me if I continued selling them. But those were the most profitable items because nobody else was selling them. So I would buy like a lockpick set for $10, and I would sell it for around $70, $80. So I was like, I'm going to be a millionaire, until eBay said, you can't sell this stuff. And then I was like, oh, okay, oh well. But I continued selling. We continued selling body jewelry. I got out of the military, got a regular job, went to college, and I stocked shelves at a grocery store. And she worked at a gas station, and actually became one of the managers at a gas station. Ooh. But continued selling body jewelry, just as extra income.
And then I started working at a tattoo shop because I thought it'd be fun to learn how to pierce.
Yeah.
So I pierced at a tattoo shop for a couple of years.
But I wanted to own my own business. So I had a few jobs here and there in Arizona, and I decided to sell our house and move to Idaho, back to Idaho, because that's where we're originally from. And we would,
Open a Cornwall franchise.
yeah, I wanted to open a tool franchise because it was my own business, and I learned really quick that it wasn't a business. It was
Job
basically
that you pay for.
a job that a job, and that I had to go to work every day. So in other words, if I didn't go to work, I didn't get paid. If I wanted to take a vacation, I didn't get paid. So there was no vacation pay. There was just me and her working in this Cornwell tool truck and trying to make a living. And my first year, I did really well. I sold, I think we made around $70,000-$80,000 our first year. And that was right before 2008, where all the mechanics were getting laid off, and the ones that were on flat rate weren't getting paid. You know, they weren't getting enough hours, so they weren't making a lot of money. So of course that affected me, and I decided once I started going broke, I was like, I'm done with this. So we actually lost our house because I didn't pay for it. That's usually what happens. And decided we ended up renting a smaller place, and I went to work for DirecTV. Yep, I was one of those people on the phone talking to people. She went to work for Walmart, and it's a store. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a place that sells things.
But while I was going to DirecTV, I was also going to college full time because I was trying to decide what it was that I wanted to do. What did I want to do that could make good money? And I kept going to college, just trying to get my core classes taken care of. And the more I looked at, I would look at one profession and I would say, okay, that's a 4-year degree.
Pharmacy tech.
I looked at pharmacy, being a pharmacy technician, and then I would go online and find out that there was
engineer.
there was a lot of people out there that already had degrees that were working at Walmart, you know, and they were waiting for their big shot, or they had to work for free to get experience so people would hire them. And it just, you know, there was a lot of people going to college at the time, and there was a lot of people getting out of college at the time with degrees. And so there was, unless you wanted to move to an area that needed, you know, those specific jobs, you would have a hard time at first, of course, trying to get a job. And then when you did, you'd only make around $40,000. And at the time, I started doing more eBay. And I was doing eBay, I was going to school, and I was working full-time. So, and she was working full-time.
And then taking care of the kids when I wasn't at work. I was
Right.
working nights and watching the kids during the day.
So we were working a lot, and I was doing pretty good on eBay. eBay started getting better and better. I was selling more and more. Before I knew it, I realized that eBay was actually bringing me in more income than my job at DirecTV. So I really didn't care about the job, and I wanted to get fired.
And he let it show in his work.
I just really didn't care anymore. You know, I was one of those guys that try to convince you to stay at DirecTV. So you can imagine
All
every
the
day.
assholes you get on the phone.
Yeah, people just complaining and bitching and moaning, and you're trying to talk them in, and they're just yelling at you, please disconnect my service, just do it, don't talk to me no more. And you would lose your job if you didn't say certain things. So when you hear those people trying to talk to you, even though you keep telling them, hey, turn it off, it's because they have to, or they'll get fired. And a lot of times I would tell them that. I say, look, I have to do this, or they're gonna fire me. But towards the end, I didn't care anymore. They would just be like, disconnect my service. I'd be like, there you go. You know, because I don't like trying to get people to do something that they don't want to do. And if you know anything about our videos, I enjoy helping people. So I'm more of a guy that you call in, you know, which I wish I had this job. You call in with your problems with DirecTV and I would fix them for you. You know, my TV's not working or whatever. That's the kind of person I am. So I really hated that job. But one day they fired me, and
He blew their minds.
yeah. I remember they took me down the office and they said, oh, unfortunately, we're going to let you go because you got this mark against your recorded call or something. And I said, wow, well, that's great. And they looked at me kind of funny, and I said, you couldn't have picked a nicer day to fire me. And I was happy. I was seriously so happy because now I had an excuse to really go full time with my eBay business. And I called her and said, guess what? They finally fired me. So it was an exciting moment for me. It wasn't I wasn't scared, I wasn't upset. So we went full time with the eBay. I actually did it full time while she continued to work.
I think I worked at Walmart for another 3 or 4 months before he finally said, it's time for you to quit. Of course, I'm scared to death to quit. I didn't want to quit because that was stability. I didn't want to give up that stable paycheck every 2 weeks and health benefits and everything that I had from them. But I did, and then I started going to college too, which I got a 4.0 for 5 semesters, and then I quit because I got bored.
Yeah. But we, we just decided to go full-time eBay eventually. And once we did, it was wonderful, right? It was great. I was my own boss, and money was coming in, and I was making more money than I ever had, actually. And when we did full-time eBay, I mean, we were making probably around 70,000 a year, 70 to 80,000 a year after everything. And that's all the junk that all the trolls say you could never sell that were in my videos. I mean, those are real videos, real trips. They're not made to blow smoke up anybody's ass or anything like that. That's the real stuff we were selling. So when they say, oh, you can't sell that or whatever, it happens to everybody on every video. It's just a troll. But the fact is we did, and it did work. And not everything sold, of course. We don't live in a perfect world. And sometimes in my videos I was wrong on a price, sometimes I was low, sometimes I was high. Of course, they only notice the times I'm low or high on a product. They say, oh, that doesn't go for 50, it goes for 15, and I looked it up wrong or whatever. But it's been an awesome journey. I mean, from eBay, from eBay, I wanted more. We wanted more. We wanted more time because
I wanted more shopping money.
Well, we had money, but we didn't have a lot of time, right? If I wanted to go on vacation again, I had to put my store on vacation, and I wouldn't make no money. So I had to save up enough money to take a vacation. So it's one of those things to where everybody would be like, man, that would be awesome to be making 70, 80,000 a year and be my own boss. I would never want more, but the fact is you always do. So I wanted to work less and I wanted to make more. If I can make 70, 80,000 on eBay, how much can I make? I want to make over 100,000. I want to make 200,000. I want to make $1 million. And I realized real quick that I couldn't do that with just selling used items on eBay.
If we were going to do it, we were going to have hire employees.
Yeah, I'd have to hire 5-6 people to help me pick, to help me list, and that's if there's enough inventory out there to get there. So I realized that wasn't an option. What else could I do? So I paid attention to you guys and people saying,
why aren't you selling that Walkman on Amazon? You could get so much more.
So that was the next step, right? Is to go into Amazon and figure out how awesome that was, because I could send in 150, 200 items a day, and I could send them in and it was done. Try listing 150 items in one day on eBay. It was impossible. So even though they take a higher percentage, I realized real quick that it's not about the profit, it's about how much you can make per day. And so a lot of people get hung up on that. They're like, yeah, but on eBay I could spend $1 and make 20. But you only have so many hours in a day, and if that item takes you a certain amount of time, then you're only going to make a certain amount of money each day. So then I kept hearing this stuff about private labeling. What is this? Now everybody I think knows about it, and if you don't, I'll explain what it is. But it's basically, I looked into it and I tried to attempt it on my own. By just researching and looking at videos and finding profitable products, and I'm one of those people where everything I do I feel like I'm going to succeed, and maybe that's why I have success, I don't know, but I always feel like I will do it, I will succeed one way or the other. So we tried a product, and it was a lot of people know this, but it was a supplement, which if anybody knows anything about private labeling, it's a highly competitive market. I listed it for sale, and I end up selling about 3 a week with my own skills and my own research. And we ended up finding Mike Collins. Basically, I was looking for a place where I could get some reviews for my product, and he happened to own a site that had a place where you could post your products for review. And he sent out an email saying that he's going to do a small coaching group just as an experiment to teach people what he does. And basically he said you can make $10,000 a month. What he didn't tell me was you can make a hell of a lot more than that. I knew it was possible, but 10,000 a month just seemed like,
A little more realistic.
yeah, it was very realistic for us because we were already pulling in $6,000-7,000 a month on eBay and Amazon, you know, somewhere around there. And I was like, you know, this is totally doable. I can increase my income and work a lot less. So we ended up doing a training course with him, and we actually took the current product we had and did all the stuff he taught us, and we actually got to the point where we were selling like 5 a day. And that was just making changes that he told us to make and things that we learned from him. And it was kind of neat, right? I mean, we were making money on a supplement, and we had already put a lot of work into this thing. I mean, I was doing backlinks and just all kinds of stuff to get this one product. It was my baby, right? Going. But that product ended up, it was making us about $1,000 a month. The thing is it was so competitive that you always had to get more reviews. You always had to work on it. You always had to do more backlinks and press releases, and it was just a lot of work. But he showed us how to find products. We ended up finding our first product, which in about 2-3 months, that product was profiting us over $10,000 a month, just that one product. And it was amazing. It was like, this is what we are going to do from now on. This is exactly what, you know, we're going to put all of our focus into. So over the next year or so, we started slowly amping down our eBay business and doing more and more Amazon, so we could spend more time in the thing that made us the most money. And that's what we do now. Now we have,
We sit by ponds on Wednesday, Thursday afternoons and make videos.
Yeah, this is our subdivision here, and it's pretty cool. They have like 4 or 5 of these ponds. They got fish in them.
We can fish in here. We can catch bluegill and bass, and one of the kids even caught a catfish out of here the other day.
I haven't caught no catfish yet, but it's nice because the kids can come over here and fish whenever they want, and it's a nice little place. But that's what we do now, guys. So hopefully that answers everybody's questions on where we were and where we're headed. I think now we're up to about 25 products or so, and we're continuing to grow. And if you've seen some of my other videos, my goal right now is to make $1 million a year profit. Hopefully that happens. Hopefully by the end of this year, I'm making that per month. I guess that would be $84,000 a month in profit. But that's my goal. Some people hear that goal and it makes them feel small and little, but it doesn't matter. It's just whatever goal you have, you know, that is your goal. It has nothing to do with anybody else. Sometimes I look back and you know, I see like our old videos and where we started and where we're at now, and it's just amazing, right? It's amazing how one thing will lead into another. You know, if I had never got that tool business, you know, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I wouldn't learn from my mistakes, you know, and I think that's the most important thing is you have to make mistakes in order to grow, in order to learn. And I realize that now. And I know a lot of people out there have that, right? They have that fear of trying, or fear of failing, really is what it is. They want to try it, they just don't want to fail. And so they never take action on something. And that's one thing I got to say that I've never had. I've never had that fear of failing. Ask her.
It's quite obnoxious, really.
I'm always like, hey, I want to do this. Hey, I built an ice cream truck one time, and I was going to put her in it.
He built an ice cream truck so I could drive it, even though I didn't want to drive an ice cream truck.
Yeah, I was like, we can make more money.
He made this ice cream truck that had this big, like, melting ice cream cone on top. It was a pretty cool ice cream truck.
Yeah.
But then we sold it because I refused to drive it.
She's like, I'm not going to do it. I said, fine, I'm going to sell it. So I sold it. But every endeavor I take on, I always think I'm going to be super successful, and I'm not scared of failing. And I think the reason why is because I always tell myself, and everything I do, I go, what's the worst that can happen? And then you know, because she's always the one going, yeah, but what about this? And I'm like, okay, and then what? And then what? That's another way of doing it, you know. And if you guys watch my videos, you heard me say that before, but it's absolutely true. Ask her. I always say, what's the worst that can happen? When I got the tool business, she was scared. What if it doesn't work and we lose everything? I said, and then what?
And that's what happened.
And that's what happened.
But
yeah.
Look where we are now.
That's what happened. You know, I said, what's going to happen? Well, we go get regular jobs and we rent, and then we, you know, live. And it was like, wow, that doesn't seem so bad, does it? And another thing to do is say, what if it does work? What if whatever you're trying to do does work? I see a lot of people that have for years have been saying, doing eBay or Amazon or whatever else they're doing, selling t-shirts online, I don't care what you're doing, but they're like, man, I want to do this full time. I'm like, well, you know, crunch the numbers, see if it makes sense. If it does, quit your job. Oh, well, I've been with them 8 years. So
I can't quit my job.
how much you making? $12 an hour. I'm like, right, wow, they really appreciate you there, don't they? $12 an hour. And it's like, what's the worst that can happen? You quit your job and you try it and it doesn't work. And then what do? Go back out and get another job, right? You're not going to starve. You know, what happens if you can't afford to put food in your family's mouths? Well, I don't know, go down and get food stamps, you know, ask family and friends.
Go to a food bank.
Go to a food bank, get free food. So no matter what objection you have, it always doesn't seem that bad. You know, it's not like you're going to fail and die. And see, that's like the worst case, right? You and your family will die, but that's not going to happen. So take chances, take risk, go out there and follow your dreams, and you know, just do what you feel is going to work for you. So another thing they say is that's called failing forward. You fail at one thing, you learn a lesson from it, and then you keep going. I used to, before I even read any of these books about failing forward or any of this stuff.
That's the book you're reading right now, isn't it?
I'm actually reading Failing Forward right now, but a lot of the other books always talk about that, on how, and I know everybody's heard it, but a lot of people don't practice it, right? The people who are most successful have failed the most times. And I before I even read any of these books, I used to say, man, it's like a video game, right? Because I don't play video games anymore, but I used to. And I used to say, it's just like a video game, right? When you're playing like Call of Duty or something, and you get killed, you're like, oh, okay, I won't do that next time. And then you play it again, you get killed again, you're like, oh, next time I'm gonna jump and duck, you know. And then you just keep learning how to navigate like a level, or like if you're old school, you got Mario Brothers, right? First time I ever played Mario Brothers, I got killed by that first flat turd thing. You know, but after that you learn that you could stomp on their head, and then you go through the thing and you try to, like, you know, go like across bricks, and you fall and you're like, oh, I can like run across those. So I mean, you learn as it goes on, and eventually you beat the game. And that's what it is. This is a game, and you have a chance to beat the game. And the only way that you can beat the game is if you take risk and die once in a while. No, don't die. In the video game you can die because you come back to life, but you won't die in real life, so don't worry about it.
Also, we were very sad to hear recently that one of the really active members in the reseller community died. So our condolences go out to Daryl Van Kirk's family and friends.
Yeah, and also, you know, to send all your prayers and happy wishes towards Ed Evans. Apparently he's not doing very good, and I just wanted to, you know, say I hope he gets better. All right, guys, so that is everything for this video. Hopefully you found this video helpful if you had this big curiosity of where we came from or whatever. My mama. Anyways, oh, I know you like the Bowie, don't you? This awesome shirt. I actually got it from
Loot Crate.
Loot Crate. Yeah, she got me Loot Crate. I love it.
We'll put a link for that in the description if anybody's interested in getting Loot Crate.
Loot Crate, they're awesome. Oh, and this is perfect for the resellers. You know, almost everything in that Loot Crate you can sell and actually make money when you get the Loot Crate. I keep it all, but
yeah,
know.
we hoard them a little bit.
But anyways, like and subscribe if you like this video, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.